What are the things that you've done and that you're working on to change the shape of how technology supports the mission of the World Health Organization?
I decided to split the problem into key result areas the way I know. So smart infrastructure, cybersecurity, cloud computing and cybersecurity. I'll get back to that in a second. Business processes, business process support, and information management. So these are the zones where I thought we need to make an impact, a structured impact. And in order to do that, of course, you need to have your architect, your infrastructure, but you need to have your army of project managers. I'll go back to that. For me, the discipline of getting things done, the PMO. Without a PMO, you will not get there. My boss asked me to take the lead into what we call our ERP. We call that the GSM. So it's our global management system. We have an ERP, and we had to intensify and accelerate the calendar of deliverables for the corporate business process transformation, HR, finance, things like that. And it was given to me. And the way I was trained, usually it's not the CIO that does that. It's you've got a business exec, and then he partners or she partners with the CIO, and together they do something. But here I was asked to be the change agent and the leader for this GSM transformation for a reason. So it starts with having, because we are a complex organization with different regions and different needs, but we have to identify the things that bring us together. So the usual corporate shared services, as I said, HR, finance, inventories, things like that. Because some of the challenges that you face when you have a grade 3 emergency, suddenly we say, okay, boom, I need to have 2,000 people over there very fast, within a few months. So your corporate processes have to allow you to find the right people, find the right skills, and the rostering of skills, recruit, onboard, dispatch, manage, bring back, and do again. So this sounds like trivial. It's not. So same thing with managing your supplies, your vaccines, your boots, your gallons of disinfectants, your everything you need to respond to an emergency. So transformation starts there for me. That was year 1.
What are the components of the command center that you would use to manage a major global health crisis?
So if you look to this side here, you can see you have maps to my right, and then you have supplies. So the idea is, whether it's tactile or not, is to say, I want to see all my warehouses worldwide. I want to see how many of that item I have left there. And please superimpose all the water points here and tell me how many medical centers I have in a radius of 25 miles, or tell me how many white helmets are here, and so you have the streams from the Meteo Center. You have the maps that you can superimpose. You've got all the infrastructure information and all that at your fingertips in near real time.
And where does this I was going to say, where does this data come from? I mean, it's extraordinary. You're collecting data from around the world. So where is that data coming from?
Well, your natural partners. For example, if the World Food Program is in charge of making sure that supplies, whether it's milk or beans or whatever supplies they need to deliver in particular tough places in the world, in the mature command center of the 21st century that we need, every relevant player feeds into your visual command center. And by the way, don't think for a second that, oh, we're done, it's finished, it's over, we have everything. No, you've got feeds from social media that we can use. You've got the Meteo Center. We want to know if there's going to be a very bad weather condition in a zone where we need to intervene, and if it has a correlation on the spread of a particular virus, or things like that. So this, I would argue, and I know it's going to be a controversial statement, but I don't think anyone has such a complete command center today. And it has to be a command center, and it has to be a shared command center within regions, but also for the partners, member states that need to access. Different roles and responsibilities. During Ebola, for example, some people, you had particular people with different roles. Some about the vaccine, some about the contact tracing. We need to know who's been infected, who did that person, who did that person talk to or touch, or possibly, contaminated. It's called contact tracing, and you need to report back even the burials of people. We needed to have better information on this, and I think that we all know and we all acknowledge, because we are all reasonable people, that during Ebola, it was not. It's the same thing when we do disaster recovery in IT, right? Then we do a postmortem. We say, like, okay, what didn't work? What must we improve in our process? And so what we saw on the command center is we know we need this. We need better GIS, geospatial information systems, and better business intelligence, better reports, faster reports, more accurate reports. We don't want to discover that something happened, 3 weeks in the past. We want to know it happened 2 hours ago. And when I say 2 hours, some people say, why 2 hours? Well, because 2 hours would be actually pretty damn good.
What are some of the constraints that you have to be thinking about as you're collecting all of this massive amount of data?
Well, first of all, it's a moving target, but we have a WHO country office in over 150 places, 50 countries. So when we ask for what we call a SITREP, a situation report, it is a standard thing. Now, maybe not as standard as you would want as an IT professional when you exchange electronic files. And in fact, depending on where it is, the way it reaches you is not the same. But the struggle for us is less in the standard formatting of the information, and more in the speed or the means required infrastructure-wise, which is also in the frame of IHR, to make sure that if you're in a place where you're not as lucky as here, where you got Wi-Fi and high-speed bandwidth, remember, when the information comes, it comes from the field, goes to from place to village, from village to district, from district to country, from country to region, from region to. So the way you get back all your information into what you hope to be a single point of truth, that's the thing we have to improve, more than the agreeing on the vital information or the minimum information that must be transmitted from A to B.
What are the things that you're doing in order to collect this data rapidly and overcome these challenges that you were just describing?
To be strategic enablers, we need to be with the business. Before Ebola, we had two business units. I'm sorry to call them that, but one for humanitarian, the other one for pandemic. And we realized that, in fact, there was an executive decision, strong of what we had learned, and we believe that we'd be stronger to merge and to have the WHO health emergencies. So we have now this merged business unit called WHE, and we have a new executive that joined us this summer, and we are going to continue our action to support the emergency business unit on. Okay, they prioritize the key processes they want to see improved. You can bet that they are extremely interested in enabling as good of a command center as we can have as fast as possible. They are very pragmatic people, so it's not a beauty contest or having the most elegant LED screen. It's about being able to do the work they need to be able to do fast, so better, faster. So that's what we're working on. That's for the emergencies. But WHO is bigger than just emergencies. So we have other goals in the goal in the Sustainable Development Goals. So let's not forget that other business execs are in our enterprise. They are called ADGs, Assistant Director Generals, and you've got emergency. We talked about it, but we have the other business units on communicable disease, non-communicable disease, family, women, children, and others. So we need to understand their goals and find a way to help them achieve their goals. As part of that transformation, in the category, remember I talked about the 4 buckets: smart infra, cybersecurity, business process support. There's the IM, the information management reform, understanding what are the information assets we have in the World Health Organization, including one that I like a lot, which is the Global Health Observatory, and where we get information from countries on all dimensions of health. That's a good base, but we want to go beyond collecting what happened last year. And we want to know what happens now and what is likely to happen tomorrow. So that's the next frontier.